Up. Hello, everybody. My name is. All right, so we had our producer just let me know something was going wrong there. We had a couple technical difficulties, but we are here. This is the gaming and news trivia show with your host, me, Mick. And I just want to say that we have also some couple of stuff to go before we do the news and the trivia. As for our shirt, as you saw in the recent intro, if you haven't, we'll let you know about that. But we have a t-shirt that I made, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's Vaporwave, so if you want to check that out, go into our link tree below. There should be in the description of our bio on Twitch. It should be there available, so I'd highly recommend going there because, you know, it's a great way to sort of just say, as a way to support us. And honestly, I love the t-shirt, and I would wear it myself. So that was something that I thought was pretty cool, and I really think you guys should go for. And we also have some masks, some other stuff, and as you can see, I believe, this dude here, this dude's dead, and he's still wearing one. So I would say that, you know, these masks are pretty protective and they work. So yeah, I highly recommend getting one of those, or I think we also have some other merch, but just take a look into it, take a gander, see if you're interested in it. I'd highly just, you know, recommend doing so as a way to support us. So anyways, also in our trivia that'll be coming up soon, we'll actually have a giveaway of a Steam gift card if you're interested in that. So that'll be something that's really cool, and I honestly, it's free money at this point. You might as well do it, right? So just make sure to stay with the show and, hey, get involved with the trivia. And I believe we have some people coming in from some other social medias, right? We have a couple coming in from not Pandora. I don't know why I said Pandora, but you know, right? Steve, Periscope and Instagram. And again, the only way to interact is to actually go on our Twitch show at twitch.tv/what's-the-play-games. And by doing that, you'll be able to interact with the show and win that gift card. So, and I think also be sure to follow our Twitter because we might be doing also a Twitter-only Steam gift card giveaway as well. So I think with that said, let's get into our gaming news. There's actually a lot going on right now. There's actually a couple of lawsuits, which was very intriguing. So over at EA, there seems to be a lot of pressure on them coming from Canada and California. So there's a lot of investigations going on with EA. I don't want to say what's a bad thing for investors, but let's just say that it's just something to be, let's just say you want to be sure to keep that in mind if you're doing investing or if you want to buy a game in the future. So something that's going on is over by the loot boxes. This has been always sort of a discussion, which is the microtransactions and why they're sort of a problem. But yeah, there's a recent development as to the class action lawsuit over by the microtransaction area. And I guess, I think we have I guess we got a little ad here in the Vaporwave section for my music. But anyways, as I was saying, one of the things that I was really surprised is how there seems to be more development into this microtransaction and how possibly they might just remove it, possibly. So if you're not aware of microtransactions in video games, one of the things is alongside with buying the game for $60, not only that, you actually have the ability to pay more because you have these cosmetic skins, and you also have these cosmetic items that you can't really get through normal gameplay. You have to do it through your shop, or the shop of the game, I should say. But now it seems there's more development as for the lawsuit and how that may be preventable or just stopped ultimately, which is something I really hope, because games shouldn't be like that. Games should be enjoyed, and again, once you pay it, that should be it. There should be not anything more unless you want to donate to the developers, in my personal opinion. So that was surprising. Yeah, there's some development, and apparently this was about FIFA's Ultimate Team mode, and pretty much it's gambling, which I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty much gambling at this point. It's just instead it's a video game. and they talked about how this was first sort of stated in the Who's Getting Sued column by the Patch Notes. That was a website in which they sort of have the details of the lawsuits, I believe, in documentation, which was very interesting. I guess they're also part of the suit or the lawsuit, and that's kind of how they know. But yeah, it's for it was brought against EA by 2 individuals firstly, and then I think it was expanded upon later. And yeah, this was more over by the EA Madden NFL, which I'm really surprised. I would have thought maybe this would be over some other games. I know, for example, I think EA has a couple of games that have microtransactions, and one of them I know was Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I know like you had to spend at least like $4,000 to unlock everything for items and characters in that game, and a lot of people were mad. In fact, I know the Reddit of EA just pretty much went into negativity because of that in terms of karma and also morality. So that was something that I was very surprised about, but it's understandable because, again, I mean, no one wants to pay $4,000 for a video game. So yeah, that was something that I was very surprised, and I believe that the EA games have had the microtransactions since 2008. So this is an ongoing sort of problem that it never really got to this stage, but yeah, people are really mad, and this time they got the money to prove it with the lawsuits. So yeah, and if it does work out in the consumer's favor, either A, they're going to get a lot of money for the payout, right? Or 2, they're just going to stop it ultimately. So it could be both, possibly, but those are the 2 outcomes that will happen in this lawsuit. So that was something that I was really surprised about because I thought this was sort of a said and done thing, but I guess it's, yeah, there's more development over on it, and I was very surprised as for that. Another thing, oh yeah, and also just to sort of give more information, I do know there's 2 countries that are banned. I believe Belgium and the Netherlands have a recent law against loot boxes and how they're banned, and I think there's some information going on with yeah, I think Overwatch is another example of those problems again. So anyways, that was also some information that I wanted to give into because I know Netherlands and I believe Belgium have banned loot crates, so it is a valid possibility. It could be something in the States, but again, we'll have to wait for those developments. So another thing, this is also in regards to NBA 2K21 or NBA games, right? As for the previous story, turns out that there are literal commercials in video games now for NBA 2K21. I had no idea that this was a thing, but yeah, if you want to play NBA 2K21, there are certain sections of the game where they'll bring out like an ad. But like usually before, it's just like some fake ad, right? Because you know it's in the video game sort of lore or whatever. But now they're bringing actual commercials, like AAA games, like AAA, I should say AAA commercials. Or, for example, in this case, it was an actual, I believe, for Google Stadia or the VR game, or not game, but device that they have. And they put that as an actual commercial in the game, which was like really weird because now not only are you buying a game for $60, you're also being monetized and they're also making money off of that, right? So that was really surprising. Yeah, like usually the thinking is, oh my God, there's some commercials going on with these videos for the Vaporwave music. But yeah, there was something, yeah, apparently that was something I didn't know. Like apparently like in these video games, not only are you like buying it for $60, but you're also getting actual like, well, I mean, commercials. Like that's kind of insane. Like let's think of like some game that I think a lot of people have been playing recently, like League of Legends, or what's another game that's been sort of popular these days? I guess I forgot what it was. Fall Guys, right? Imagine you're playing Fall Guys and out of nowhere you just get a commercial going on. Like this seems to be the normality, or what's going to be possibly a thing in the future, which I would hope not, because it doesn't really become fun to do, right? It kind of makes video games not fun anymore if this were to happen. So as I would say, support your indie developers because, hey, indie developers wouldn't do that. And plus, they got cheaper games. So that was something I was very surprised. Yeah, and again, I'll read part of this article here that I have listed here, more about the information. But yeah, these unskippable ads are available across all platforms. So this isn't just PC. This is all consoles. And it's a mechanic added in the free-to-play titles as a form of monetization. So yeah, that's interesting. So not only are they doing it with the AAA games, right, where they charge people, they're doing it in their free-to-play games. So that was very interesting. Yeah, and the videos for as to what they were Oculus Quest 2 as for the advertisement when the match was loading. That was something that was very intriguing. And that was the thing is they are giving, I think it was another story we have actually to sort of end off with that note, sorry, is that Google Stadia is launching free demos. So if you're not aware, they're actually giving out free games right now for VR, speaking of which, on Stadia. So if you want to grab yourself a demo, right, of some game on VR, because again, VR hasn't really had any new games recently, it's actually free. And I believe some of the games for the Google Stadia is we have Immortal Phoenix Rising. Yeah, you got Humankind, which is another game. Immortal Phoenix Rising, which I stated before, and you have Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battles. So if you have Google Stadia, which is, I believe, a VR device, you can actually do that and play these games for free as demos. Now, they're not the full version, but it's something to really, play while we're waiting for all these other games that are coming out. Because I know Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out pretty soon. So, and I believe Cyberpunk is actually available soon on the Stadia as well, alongside with all the other releases, which is very intriguing. I'll have to see how that works out, because again, Stadia is very different from all devices, because I believe they are lower specs. So that was something that I didn't know. Yeah, cloud-based gaming and just some of the VR stuff that's going on with the Stadia. So yeah, these were all available in cloud gaming, but I guess they're also doing some VR stuff, which I was very surprised about. And yeah, in regards to the news, that's pretty much it. Yeah, there wasn't yeah, I mean, we could go on for a lot more, but I feel that honestly, we want to make it short and sweet and simple. We don't want to make it complicated. And this will be sort of the trivia portion of the show. So yeah, we're just going to do that really quickly if we can. I am going to move on to our little starting soon button.
Real quick.
Yeah?
I know it's not gaming news and trivia.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the recent problems
Yeah.
that are affecting, because all the social media platforms that you're on a bunch of them right now.
Yeah.
What is your idea about how they are not? It looks like the government's about ready to drop the hammer because of
Oh,
not releasing
okay.
footage. Say they don't believe that one story is true or one story is not true, and it's like they have too much power. It doesn't matter what side
Okay,
of the
so
world.
we have a question from Steven, who's my producer, and he states how it feels like the game industry is too powerful right now. Is that what I'm getting at?
Industry, social media, but you're on these social
Oh, social media and how, like, some falsity.
It looks like they're going to start being held to some regular.
Well, yes, that was the thing that I also do want to talk about. Google was just struck by the antitrust bill. If you're not aware, this was a thing. I think you even know, probably. Google, the state, I think it was the State Department Justice. They actually just sent an antitrust bill with Google because they're too powerful, right?
Well, I'm talking about the information that they're like, I guess Twitter and Facebook just got in trouble for not for cutting the story.
Not giving a valid story or
so
something like that, or
about
false
not
information.
whatever.
Okay, so you're talking about false information. Okay.
Or not releasing the
Mm-hmm.
information, and they cut it off. So it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum that you live on.
Yeah.
If they provide themselves as these, utilities, kind of, right?
Yeah.
They have to produce everything, right? And no matter what, they're like dictating. So that means that they could dictate if they like your show or not. Maybe they don't like your show.
Well, I don't know if Twitter is I don't think they're like the literal co-employees or the employees over at Twitter sending these news. I think these are just from users, and they aggregate the users' posts. So what that would probably have to be is they have to control the information that's false or real based off of these
Based off
users.
who, though?
I would say based on what's going on in the world, right?
Right, but we don't. But shouldn't they just be the platform
Well,
or whatever?
yeah,
If
that's-
it's garbage. If it's not, that's up for the user.
So
to decide,
you're
right?
going into the argument if the social media stuff should be actually like delete some posts if they're fake or some if they're real. I'm guess, right? Or you're wondering if they should do that,
Well,
possibly.
I'm wondering the reason why I'm bringing this up with gaming
Mhm.
is because with gaming, then they might be able to decide what game they want or what person that they want.
No, I don't
be
think.
controversial.
No, I don't think that's gonna be a thing.
But
It's
you don't think that's gonna be the thing?
no. There's like rarely there are some games that are shut down, but that's because like it breaks their terms of agreements,
Yeah,
and
like, what was
usually.
it, a terrorist game or something?
No, it's not even that. They've allowed terrorist games. It's like literally it's just nudity. That's like the one rule that I know like Steam has, and a lot of these gamings is like if it's like full on nudity sex
So
game,
you
then
can
like
take somebody's lungs out, slaughter them, and rip their heart out, eat it,
yeah,
and that's okay. But if there's titties
kinda.
and pussy,
Yeah, because it's harder to sell towards people, and you get
That's
into
so weird to me.
well, it's also because of the human anatomy, and that's also with
Yeah, that's
actual
natural.
U.S. laws. That's
natural.
yes, but
Killing somebody and ripping their heart out.
yes, I know, because I think there's like the pornography laws or something in the
Right.
U.S. While there's no like law about like video games being violent, that's just a thing that's
so you're not
happened.
but I'm talking freedom of speech. Do you think that at some point, like maybe they don't?
But it's not freedom of speech. They're not like hold up to the Congress or the again because they're a company, they're a private company,
Right,
just
but-
like anything. right? They're not like
You're
a
not too worried
government
about
public
that?
building. I'm not. I mean, again, like it's just a company doing their thing, so I'm not really worried about this. If this was a government like actual
We only
like
have
funded
we
thing,
only
then
have 4
maybe.
social
But
medias.
yeah, I would say that's a lot. I mean, that's a good amount. I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't. You're trying to do the gaming sort of stuff, and I was kind of confused there about
I'm
social
sorry,
media.
yeah.
But
But I relate
if
to
you're
you.
talking about social media, then I mean, I don't think as long as it, if the users are happy with it and they're handling it pretty well, I don't think social media platforms should really do a thing. But I mean, again, as there's a lot of fake information, I think they should probably do their best to maybe stop it because it's in the public interest of people, right? For democracy, I guess, because right now that's what's happening right now. So.
Fair enough, Mick. You answered it. You are the best newsman in the world.
All right, so we had sort of that question from Steven. I sort of answered it, but let's get on to our trivia.
job, man.
Again, yeah, this was the first time we actually printed out stuff, so please give me a break as to some of the articles if I got them wrong. Again, we'll correct it as we go along. So anyways, let's actually get on to our trivia news. I believe we should have it right here. And we have a new sort of mode for this, so that was pretty cool. Well, yeah, let's start with our little trivia show. Large trivia show. I've been stated not to say that word. So let's actually sort of get on to our show here. It's sometimes difficult to do this. So let me make sure that I get this working. The trivia show. All right, it should be started now. All right, cool. So the trivia should be working, and here we go. So we have like around 15 questions. It's typical, pretty much. We're on our first one, which is what is the first console to support internet play from Nintendo? Because it was back in the day, you would actually have to use some like button or some actual link cable as to getting the connection for another player. But now, yeah, this was a thing. And now it is, right? You can actually do internet play from Nintendo. So we have one, the GameCube, B, the Nintendo DS, or C, the Wii. So be sure to put in your answer as quick as you can. We only got a couple of seconds left. And yeah, hopefully you guys can get that, get the correct answer, I should say. So yeah, we got a couple of, we're out of seconds. I was going to say a couple of seconds, but yeah, that's our time. And it is the GameCube. I remember putting this one in. Yeah, this one is the GameCube. I believe the GameCube the GameCube. I believe the GameCube used to, they didn't used to. They actually always had this, which was the ability to play through the internet, I believe. I haven't tested this out myself, but according to what I read, they didn't have like a link cable or anything. They actually had like the possibility of using Wi-Fi, which was really interesting, which I didn't know even for myself who owned a GameCube. But supposedly that was a thing, which I was very surprised. So let's get on to our next question, or our next trivia question, I should say. We're on our second one. And this one's pretty simple. It's when will Call of Duty Cold War release? We have A, October 30th, 2020. We have B, November 13th, 2020. And we have our last one, which is November 2nd, 2020. So be sure to check in your answer, and we'll see where we go from here. So, all right. So it should be from, I guess we still have a couple of time. I shouldn't give out the answer yet. But again, we got a couple of these dates, so be sure to pick the one that you think is right, and that should be right, hopefully. We would hope is right, but we're going to have the actual right answer coming up in a bit here. So this should be, what is it going to be? Or did we have anyone that even inputted an answer? That's the thing we got to remember. If anyone actually put in an answer. Okay, so it's B, November 13th, 2020. Hopefully the game will be great. I think it will be, but again, we'll never know until it actually comes out, which is coming up pretty soon. So let's get on to our next answer. If I can get to it, if this computer will allow me to. Okay, there we go. So we're on a third one. Don't worry, we're not going to be doing all 21. We'll have up to 15. And this one is how many megabytes are on the memory card that's given when you buy the actual PS2. So when you buy a PS2, they actually give you a memory card. And this one is pretty common. A lot of people have it. These are, like if you had a PS2, like everyone had these. So anyways, is it A, 20 megabytes per second, I believe? That's the way I would say it. Or B, you have 8 megabytes per second. Or C, 22 megabytes per second. I think it's going to be pretty easy for this one. I think you can understand at the time these things were really expensive to make. So I would say that you're looking at single digits. A little hint there. But we are out of time, so you might have wanted to step your game up and answer that one as fast as you could. So, all right. So this one should be B, 8 megabytes. I actually know this because I owned a PS2 back in the day, and these things were actually really cool. So not only did you play video games, but you could also play also. I don't know why I said that, but you could also play DVDs and stuff, which was really great at the time. This was advertised to be a family media device, which it kind of was. It really was. You had like Ace Combat 04, which was a really fun game, and I think the Homer Simpson Road Rage game. So those are a couple that I can think off the top of my head as to those certain games that are on the PS2. But yeah, that is the memory card. It is 8 megabytes. And it's not really enough. I think usually like one game would take up quite a lot from what I've heard. So, in fact, I really think they should have given 2 for the person who bought it. But anyways, you are trapped in a dungeon with many monsters surrounding you. What do you do? A, you use your magic potions and use Fire Blast. What? Or B, you level up and gain the sword perk to slay the giants. Or C, do you cloak yourself with invisibility and void the enemies? Because sometimes fighting is not always the right way, maybe. I don't know. Be sure to pick your answer, and let's see what it's going to be. We got 3 seconds left, so be sure to answer in as quick as you can. All right. So time is up, and our answer should be revealed pretty soon, but I believe we should have our inputs as to who wrote down their pick. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see here. So it is A, or is it B, or is it C? It is all the above. This is one of the questions where your play could have been anything. So anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, let's get on to our next question. Yeah, but it's kind of like life. You know, sometimes you'll have right plays, and sometimes all the plays are right, and that was just one of them. So, all right, let's get on to our next question here. We are on the 5th one, and we got 10 more questions to go. What is the original name of Resident Evil? I think a lot of people don't know this one. This one is, apparently it was simple from what I read, but it wasn't, because I never even knew this. So Resident Evil, previously, when it was in Japan, they named it something else. And I believe that they were rushing out the release, so they didn't actually get to change the name of it, which was Resident Evil. But yeah, be sure to pick in A, B, or C. We'll talk a little bit more on this. I didn't even know this. This was actually a really fun fact. But yeah, is it going to be A, B, or C? Is it Biohazard, B, Infection Zone, or C, Contagion? Let's see what you pick. Let's see what you guys picked. But yeah, I know right now, and I guess I can speak about it because time is up. It's actually Biohazard, and funny enough, Resident Evil 7 was called Biohazard, so that was really interesting. It seems like they kind of fixed it up or something like that, which I didn't know. But yeah, it was Biohazard. I guess like Japan, when they were making the game and they put the actual information, they didn't change it. They forgot it. But originally, it was supposed to be called Biohazard. It's not only the 7th game, but it was originally supposed to be the title. So, what was the first game that Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie made his first appearance? Is it A, Animal Crossing, B, Donkey Kong Country, or is it C, Diddy Kong Racing? Diddy Kong Racing was essentially a racing game, so just to give you some context, essentially just had characters kind of like Mario Kart. Donkey Kong Country was pretty much the, I wouldn't say it's an RPG, but it's, you have like a couple of lives that you run around, try to defeat monsters, and it was really fun. And then Animal Crossing is, well, just a typical Animal Crossing where you live as a villager. So just to give some context as for those games. And let's see what people picked. Hopefully, there's got to be someone picking some answers, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it is C, Diddy Kong Racing. And welcome, Easy Dub. I am so sorry. I didn't read your comment. Okay, so Easy Dubs, I might have missed your comment. My mistake. You said, screw EA, they owe me my money back for Anthem. Oof. Anthem was not a great game. Oh, man. I heard they spent a lot of development with that game, but it did not work as intended. Oh, man, that was awful. All right, so which video game is the very first to be on the cover of Time magazine? I thought when I was reading this that it might have been like, a couple of games are on Time, but yeah, there wasn't quite a lot. Like, they haven't really picked like a game to be on the front cover, like alone, just like one of the games that is like, all over the Time magazine. But yeah, it turns out that, it could be either of these, which is Pokemon, Star Fox, or Legend of Zelda. And they only did this once. After that, they had some tones for the games, but they never really did like one game all the way from top to bottom on the Time magazine. All right, so is it A, Pokemon, B, Star Fox, or C, Legend of Zelda? All great games, by the way. They just haven't really made a Star Fox game or a Samus one, which I'm very surprised about. But yeah, this one is Pokemon, which is A. Yeah, so Pokemon, it was pretty popular at the time, and Time magazine picked it up, and they wrote sort of an article as to sort of like the future of gaming. So that was very surprising. And Easy Dubs, it is not B as much as I'd like it to be, but it was A, Pokemon. So Star Fox, they really got to make some games. I never really heard of any, nor Kirby. I mean, I know they made a Kirby game back in the day, but not many of them. All right, so this is which video game in 2017 had an 8-bit prototype that was shown at the Game Developers Conference. So before that they finalized the game and made one, they actually had a prototype shown at this conference of essentially an illustration of what the game would be, and they even played it. So it was kind of like a finished prototype, but then they kind of changed it around to this actual version of it. So we have A, Super Smash Bros., B, Kirby, or C, Legend of Zelda. Let's see if anyone got this one right. All right, so it is Legend of Zelda. You were actually correct, Easy Dubs, and I'm very amazed as you got in. So, yeah, as there was no more seconds, but yeah, it is actually C, Legend of Zelda. Before the conference, and I even saw the video, they had like an 8-bit, just typical classic Legend of Zelda that was playing in the background while they were talking, and it looked pretty cool. It wasn't actually horrible, but yeah, it was Legend of Zelda. So, all right, and I actually do want to check the leaderboards here if I can, because I believe Easy Dubs is the leader right now as for the points. Let me check here. All right, yeah, I think, let's actually check this out really quick. I just keep forgetting the button as to what is the leaderboard button. But yeah, I believe Easy Dubs should be on top unless he hasn't answered enough questions, possibly. No, I guess it's just saying top players because I guess you have to put in more maybe. I'm not quite sure. It's a little weird. All right, so let's just get on to our next question. Let's see if this will work as I'm pressing the space bar. Please let it work. No, it's just not working. Oh, no. Wait, let me see. Please don't do this to me. This is what I hate about technology. Sometimes it just does not want to work. All right, so we're on the 9th question. I guess it did work after all. You are given 1 minute to disarm a nuclear bomb. Metal Gear Solid time, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to cut the red wire, which is A? You're gonna splash some water on it, B? Or C, are you going to cut the blue wire? As movies has taught me, let me just say, one of them is the right one, the other ones are not really included. Let me tell you that. All right, so is it A, cut the red wire, B, splash some water on it, maybe it'll just, short out possibly, or is it C, you cut in the blue wire? I don't know. What is it going to be? It's possible it could be multiple answers, maybe. I don't know. All right, so A, cutting the red wire. I honestly, that's a good decision. I would have picked A, honestly, but supposedly some of the movies, they make it as a joke. They splash some water on it and it somehow works, right? Because I guess technology shorts out when you put water on it. So I wouldn't advise you to do that if you're the military. That's not, no, you're gonna have to cut the red wire. But yeah, that is a thing. It is cutting the red wire. And you are currently in first place, Easy Dubs. So congrats, man.
Both, though, Mick.
Huh?
If you pull them both, at least you pull the red wire.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? All right, so Sony created the PSP, which is the first ever handheld. How many versions of this handheld was released? So if you're not aware, they typically do this with a lot of the consoles of today. They'll release like a first version, a second one, a third one, kind of like the Nintendo 3DS. And then I think they released like a 3DS version 2 or whatever. So is it 5 or is it B, 4 or C, 6? I don't know why I put 5 and not the letter 5 on that one, but hey, just forget about it. We'll learn and forget. All right, so is it A, 5, B, 4, or C, is it 6? And Easy Dubs, I think, I don't know, I think you might have put in, did you put A? Because if you picked A, this is actually right. Yeah, you picked 5, or I guess you may have been a little too late, but yeah, it is 5. That was the amount of actual handheld versions they had before they actually, went on to the next one. Yeah, I think Easy Dubs got it. Wow, that's amazing. You know a lot of stuff about tech. All right, so we're on our 11th question out of 21. And this is, what is Xbox first ever game that was released? So this might be a multiple one, or it might be, actually, I can tell you. I don't think that's against the rules. So this one is a multiple choice answer. There may be some more that are correct. So I just want to give you a little heads up for this one. So is it A, Halo Combat Evolved, which is a great game, by the way. That's what started the whole franchise. Or is it B, Project Gotham Racing? I don't know what Project Gotham Racing is, but it sounds like a decent game. You meant 4, though. You were close, though, Easy Dubs, and currently you are in first place. I don't think it even matters. Or is the answer for this one, is it C, Dead or Alive 3? So, Easy Dubs, you are correct, but this is actually all of the above, because it wasn't just one game that was released at first. There were a couple, which is Project Gotham and C, Dead or Alive 3. So, yeah, if anybody else was answering this question, you would have actually gotten a freebie, honestly. So that's pretty cool. And again, if you're on any of our social media, be sure to chime in at What's the Play. Or actually, I shouldn't even say that. Twitch.tv/What's the Play Games, and you'll be able to interact with us, which is something we all want, right? You want some prizes. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? We're handing out money here. You might as well, yeah. Anyways, what bird is Falco from Star Fox based on? Is it A, falcon, B, pheasant, or C, an eagle? This one might not be as easy as you think it is. Honestly, I thought at first, because again, it's Star Fox, right? He's got to be at least like a falcon or like maybe a fox. But this one, and I guess we can talk about it now because again, time is up. It's a pheasant. I was surprised as well, honestly. It's a pheasant. It's not like a falcon or either an eagle. It's a pheasant. So I was very surprised about that. And honestly, the Star Fox games, they got to release a new one. We haven't had one probably like years. I know that I think a lot of people were angry at the games because they had like some frog that was really stupid as a character, but I thought it was pretty cool. So anyways, that is the question, and let's move on to our new one. Easy Dub's like, fuck, I didn't get it right. Yeah. All right, let's see if this OBS device system will work. Sometimes it does get a little problematic, but anyways, we're on our 13th question. You are currently riding a roller coaster till it stops while upside down. What do? Do you A, chance it and drop down upside down? You might as well have some fun, chaos theory. Or B, you remain calm and close your eyes until the ride stops. Or do you C, kick and scream like Karen? I mean, there's a lot of Karens. You might as well turn into one. All right, so we got a couple of seconds left, and let's see if you guys got it correct. So I've been trying my best to add some more questions that are really fun, kind of like a dungeon sort of style. So hopefully this one's pretty cool. But yeah, it's kick and scream like Karen. You could do that. I would say you want to remain calm and close your eyes. Because technically, when you enter a roller coaster, I believe they say to have your arms and feet in the system or in the ride at all times, right? That's a thing that they say. So technically, it's B. I don't think this one was a multiple. I could have made it a multiple choice, but I think we already had too many. I think we got like 3 or 4 that are multiple choice. So this one is actually, we're going by the rules. But I could see why someone would put C, because honestly, I'd probably react like that. I'd probably scream. I'm not going to lie. No one's going to be rational enough to do that. But again, that would be the correct play. All right, so how many game developers were in the creation of the game Tomb Raider? So Tomb Raider, if you don't know, it's that puzzle game of a person named Lara Croft who wants artifacts. But apparently the newer games are, she's just going to escape and do stuff like killing people. So yeah, but this one is, you have A, 4 developers, you got B, 6 developers, or C, you got 1 developer, because sometimes games are just made by one person. So be sure to put in the answers quickly as you can, because you only got, you have no time anymore. So be sure to pick that answer that you want, and we'll see if it's right. So yeah, I was kind of surprised because when I read the history of Tomb Raider, the games were a lot more puzzly, and in fact, there were no like humans that you would kill. Like, I think there was like 2 in like the first and the second game. Most of them were like animals, like dinosaurs apparently was a thing. Yeah, there was dinosaurs in like the original second Tomb Raider, I think, and then there's some like lizards and stuff that you shoot, and some piranhas. Yeah, I was like really surprised how different those games from before are now. Today. Yeah, I think it was Crystal Dynamics is the developer of the games, and they pretty much have changed it, so it's just a shooter/looter thing. And the puzzles have been optional instead of actual, like, required, as the games were originally supposed to be. So I was very surprised about that. And we got our last question, which is how to support What's the Play games. So do you have A, check our link tree and follow our social media, which you can do. And if you want, go to our social media at twitch.tv/What's the Play games, or you can go to our link tree, which should be below in the bio if you want to check that out. So you got that for A. Is it B, do absolutely nothing? Or is it C, sleep? Because sometimes we just got to sleep, right? But yeah, those are your questions. Be sure to pick the right one, because you don't want to answer it wrong, because I think you want those points, right? So anyways, all right, so we have, apparently Easy does put C in. Honestly, you might as well just sleep, but the correct answer is actually A. You gotta check our link tree and follow our social media. We got tons of social media that you can sort of check in and just kind of just stay updated, because that's like the whole point of social media, is to stay updated, and you want to make sure that well, you know the current news of what's to play games. So yeah, that's it for our little quiz show, if you didn't know. And yeah, I believe the winner, who is it? I'm guessing it's Easy Dubs, is it? It's Easy Dubs. It is Easy Dubs. He is the first winner, and typically with the winners, we do tend to send a Steam gift card. So we'll be in contact, Easy Dubs, and we'll send you a Steam gift card. And that's it for our trivia show. And if you didn't know, we have ourselves a commercial. So I was very satisfied with the way I did this. If you want to check it out, I'll show it right now, but yeah, stay tuned. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty pog. Let me see. Look at this. This is pretty cool. Now, I gotta turn off the audio for the Vaporwave, but hey, look at this. This is a pretty good commercial if you ask me for t-shirts. So, yeah, other than that, we're gonna end the show, and we will see you guys later. Peace out, and yeah, have